I'm going to go ahead and start.
Pardon?
We're going to go ahead and start.
Oh.
All right. Hopefully Letha didn't have any aspirations on any position. All right. I'm going to call to order the April 22nd, 2026 Historic Preservation Board meeting. Today we'll be starting with elections. So what I'd like to do is open the nominations for chair. There's no need for a second. Once the nominations are open, just make a nomination. I will then check to make sure that the person you nominate is willing to take the position, and then we'll see how many nominations we have and then a vote. So nominations for chair are open. Do I have any nominations?
Who's volunteering?
No, we're nominating you. Cheryl.
We think you should maintain your leadership position.
So Ms. Werner, is that an official nomination for
Yes.
Ms. Donahue? And
It
are you
is.
willing to take the position? Do we have any other nominations? Seeing none, nominations for chair are closed. And just to make it official, all in favor of Sherry Donahue being the chair, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Congratulations. Now we'll have the nominations. We'll open the nominations for vice chair. Do we have any nominations?
So is Letha currently the vice chair?
Good question. Yes, she is.
Yes. Well, I would nominate Letha to be,
Oh, that'll
Chair.
be good. All
since
right.
she's not here, but I don't know if I can do that because she's not here. So if that's the case, ladies,
Oh.
who would like to serve? Remember, you only have to step into action if I don't come to the meeting.
It's a great opportunity.
I think I nominate Margo.
All right, Margot, would you be willing?
Sure.
All right, thank you.
I'd love to.
All right.
Thank you.
Any other nominations? Seeing none, nominations for vice chair are closed. To make it official, all those in favor of Margot Chavez as vice chair, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Congratulations.
You know,
With that, I'll-
normally when you don't come to a meeting, you get elected.
I know.
We're
That's,
gonna-
she's lucky.
breaking the trend here.
Lucky.
Yeah.
At that point, I'll turn it over to you, Ms. Donahue.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I know that the mayor is here and he would like to speak to us, so if it's not a problem, we'll let him go first and then we'll go into the minutes and the other things. Of course, you can stay as long as you want.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Well, good afternoon, everybody. It's been a while since I've been here, and I thought I would come by and show myself and say hello, and thank you again for all your work on historic preservation efforts, and that includes our staff. Tremendous amount of work that has gone into this, and so thank you. I know we don't have any properties enrolled yet, and I don't want you to be discouraged by that. I think the public takes a long time to warm up to things sometimes. And so our city is known for, it's a wonderful city. People are very passionate. They love their city. But they're also very skeptical and risk adverse. And so anything new that comes along, people in Temple Terrace tend to look at it for a long time and, you know, is this good? This is change. And generally people don't like change. Temple Terrace people really don't like change. And so stay the course. We do appreciate what you're doing, and we're going to get there. It's taken us 50 years to get to the point we are. We've never been this far along before. We finally got the CLG designation, which was no easy task, and we are going to get there. I suggest a good strategy at the moment would be to, while we're trying to get the big victories, is to focus on some small ones. Let's see if we can double down on the historic markers, if we can find places that are eligible and submit for them. And if that happens, make sure you let me know, because I can probably get that bought. And, you know, sometimes they put in for markers and they've depleted the fund or whatever. So please make sure that I'm dialed in on that, because I can probably get that done. Things along those lines. I know Jeannie has looked at several grants that so far we haven't found one that we meet, but we will. We'll keep scanning and looking for opportunities and get a few smaller successes, which will just add credibility. So I just don't want you guys to get discouraged, like, well, nobody's coming to the program. They will. They will. It will take a little bit of time. But I think once people see once one comes in and sees that the sky didn't fall on these people and they're still able to paint their home, and I think that things will get better in terms of that. The property at 234 Bullard, the old house there, the Tomasino house, I think that's a bittersweet story, but I think at the end of the day, that's a good story. They were going to renovate that building and keep it. They found, I don't know if you know this already, but the engineering survey they did on that building, they're not going to be able to do that. It's too far gone. And interestingly enough, in the engineering report I read, they determined way back in 1925 or whenever it was built, it really wasn't built properly. The tiles, the hollow tiles that they used were supposed to be put one way and they were actually put the other way. So it wasn't built right even from the start. And so that's part of the problem too. And so what they are going to do is they've laser scanned the building. So they have things down to the millimeters of where everything is, and they're going to reconstruct the building to make it exactly like it is, down to the millimeter. And so what you will see is much like Dave Bullock did at the law office across the street. That was basically almost the same scenarios, and when he got into that, he had found all kinds of stuff. Well, that building, as you know, is beautiful. I mean, that's probably one of the best examples of a restored or preserved historic building, and that's what's going to happen to the 234 building. So it's a little disappointing. We were hoping to have it, it won't be eligible because it'll be a new building, so it won't be eligible for the program, but we are going to get to keep an exact replica of a historic building, so that's a good thing. So bittersweet, but overall I think good, positive. And the rest of that building, if you haven't seen the drawings, the rest of that pediatric clinic is beautiful. And the architecture of there is meant to complement the architecture of the historic building, so it will all look like it belongs. So that's kind of cool. So
Right, so hopefully we can get ahead of this and let people know when it comes down that there's.
yeah, I know. I'm hoping that they'll do that between 2 and 3 in the morning on like a Thursday night or something. But yeah, I know. We will. Hopefully, our marketing folks will get ahead of that and kind of explain to people.
So they're going back on the same footprint.
Yeah, same place, same building, same look. So, yep. So anyway, I don't really have much to tell you other than that. I just wanted to come and say thank you for everything you do for us. I'm happy to answer any questions if you have any. Or
Any questions?
I'm just out of curiosity, are they going to be able to reuse any of the materials from the old building?
that's a good question. I don't know the answer to that. I can answer that. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. That's a good question, Margo.
Good evening, Board. Marissa Robinson with Community Development. So they are looking at some of the tiles. They have an inventory of what they want to try to put into the new building, but it won't be until they really start taking it out. They're not sure if they're going to be able to use them or not, but they do have a list of things that they are going to try to repurpose into the new building. And actually, they're going so far as to comply with the National Park Service, the Secretary of Interior standards for reconstruction. So that's one of the benefits of having it laser scanned and getting down to that fine detail that they will be able to recreate it almost exactly as it was.
That's great.
Yeah. So, and actually, I think I just got an email from them not too long ago that they laser scanned it again just to make sure that they have all the details that they need to recreate it. So,
That's amazing.
That's impressive.
yeah.
Janine,
Does that
any
mean you
questions?
laser twice?
Yes, I think that's the goal.
I just want to tell you that in spite of the sometimes difficult, if you're on Facebook, it looks like the sky's falling every day. Your city is doing very, very well, in spite of a handful of people that want to claim that we're not. The city's doing financially good. Those at the state level and I'm pushing back on this a little bit. Keep in mind, I am a Republican, so I'm not talking, this is not like I'm talking against the other party or something. There's been a lot of talk about property taxes, and they show you the graph of since 2020 and 2026, the line of our revenues increasing. That's true. But what we did, I did this before I went to Tallahassee for the legislative session, was I put on, they don't show you the rest of the story, so they show you one line, and that's property tax revenue. And our line matches their line. We've increased at about the state average. However, I put 25 different lines on there, and I pieced out wages and benefits for employees, and guess what? That line is the exact slope, right? So our expenses in wages and benefits are tracking the revenue. Then I put on there police and fire operating expenses, and guess what? That line tracks exactly. I put on there, what did I put? Vehicles, I think, fire trucks, ambulances, garbage trucks. Guess what? Exactly tracks. I put insurance on there, and that line is even steeper. So insurance has gone up even faster than the revenue increase. And so, now I don't know if that's all over the state. I can only speak for Temple Terrace, but there are no gold-plated faucets here. We are doing some building renovations that are long overdue. This is a 50-year-old building, and we are not going anywhere. This building is, don't have any plans for a new city hall at all. So if we're going to stay in the building, we need to make it up to modern standards. And ADA compliance, if you notice, this room that we're in and that back conference room, they're not ADA compliant. We need to make them ADA compliant. The clerk's office is due for some renovations, the legal suite in the clerk's office. We're doing some personnel sharing of our staff to get those two offices to work together. They're sharing staff, like Lisa does both. She works for Ernie and for Linda. So that space is going to be renovated also to ensure ADA compliance and also give us some conference room space because we don't have that. We don't currently have it budgeted to do this room, but we're going to try to do that in the FY27 budget to make this ADA compliant. So there's a lot going on. There's 2 new buildings under construction. There's a public safety complex on the horizon. It's up for a bond referendum. But I do want to tell you that everything we have going on is connected to everything else. I like to think we're maybe a rare example of a government that's actually planning for growth and planning for 10 years ahead, 20 years ahead. The new ERP system is the enterprise system that we have coming in, will help facilitate speeding up some of our services and the reliability of our services for our residents. The public safety complex you'll hear more about from the city manager and police chief and the fire chief, but that's a strategic decision to help us be able to annex the 301, the light industrial and the warehouse complexes because they're tax heavy and service light. And the idea there is that the additional tax revenues from those commercial light industrial businesses will help take some of the relief off of the residential taxpayers. And so there's a plan for all of these initiatives. They're not just like, hey, let's go build a utility building or let's build an EOC at the fire station or, let's renovate utility building. All of these things work together. We have more projects underway in the city right now than we have ever had in the history of the city, and there's more coming. And so we have some challenges, about the water and the PFAS issue. We don't have any choice but to fix that, and we should fix it. We don't want that stuff in our water anyway. There's a plan coming before council on May 19th, and then the week after that there'll be a town hall meeting to open it up to the public. You're welcome to come ask questions and learn what we know. The solution will be implemented in plenty of time. The law changes in 2031. We'll have that solution in place before then. It will be expensive. I can tell you that's going to be astronomically expensive. But that will have nothing to do with your taxes. That will be paid by the water bills, right? And so remember that we have about 32,000 water accounts. Our water system extends outside of the city, so some of the people outside of the city will be they'll be sharing that burden as well. So that won't fall completely on us. So a lot of money being spent, yes. The 2 buildings that are under construction are both, one's federally funded, one is state funded. So that's having very little impact on our taxes because we got money from the feds for one building and money from the state for the other one, so. So contrary to the rumors, we actually have a plan, and I know it's hard to have confidence in elected officials, and our city manager's terrific, and he's included in this, but we actually do have a plan. We are moving the city forward, but it is well thought out, it's well calculated, it's strategic, it's not whack-a-mole management. And I'm very proud of what our city manager and our staff have been able to do and continue to do. We've got the best leadership team of any city that I know of, and I know a lot of mayors across the state, and I think we're the envy of most of them. I said, we got the best utility guy, we have the best HR guy, we have the best code enforcement guy, we've got rock stars, and we don't lose them anymore, right? We used to be a training ground, they'd go to Tampa, they'd leave, they'd go to Hillsborough County. Now we're taking people from other places. We recruited Linda from Kansas. I mean, we've gone all over the country to get the right talent. And we've been very successful. So that's mostly Carlos and Tony, our HR director, have been responsible for that. But so you live in a great city. It's being very well run, and this is not me. This is mostly Carlos and a mostly really good council that has been supportive of Carlos's efforts. So if you see any of these people, you should thank them. They're doing a very good job with your tax money, and we are really setting the city up for the next 100 years. So. Okay? And if you need anything or you have any questions, please, please, please call me. Don't go on Facebook to get your answers because you can call Sherry. She knows more than I do. You can call Ernie. You can call Linda. I mean, there's 100 people here you can call and everybody will get you the information. So.
But we appreciate very much you coming to us. I'm glad, I was very, like you said, sad to hear that the building was not
Yeah.
going to be restored. But people talk to us about these things.
Sure.
And it's really nice that we've now been educated that we can give a response as to
Yes.
what happened and
I probably
what's going to
stole
happen.
Marissa's thunder. I think she was probably going to tell you about that.
Well, I would
Oh, I'm
usually,
sorry.
yes, I would always say, let me send you Marissa Robinson's
Yeah,
number.
yeah.
But, it helps to be able to begin the conversation with, this is what I know.
Yes.
And that's very helpful, and I do really appreciate that.
Yeah.
And I don't know about the rest of the board, but I know that I live in a fantastic city, and I'm going to guess they would say the same thing, but I'll let them speak for themselves.
But the city now, from the days that you first got on council, it's
Oh.
not the same.
No, it is not.
This is a accredited,
Mm-hmm.
reputable, politically relevant city that is looked at by other cities. This is not, I'm not criticizing our predecessors, but we've really dragged the place into the 21st century, so.
Absolutely. When I first got on council, they said, we're going to take you on a tour, and I said, oh, no, this is the tour you have not been on.
Yeah.
And my eyes were, I was like a child, saucer eyes. I was like, I can't believe you're using parts from this piece of equipment to fix this piece of equipment until it quits, and then this one's just, I mean, it was a way to keep taxes low, but as we all realize now, investment is what makes it all work.
Well, the taxes too, the other thing that I told the senators and reps when I was up in Tallahassee was like, look, you're painting us all with the same brush. We haven't raised millage rate in 9 years. We've reduced the millage rate 3 times since 2016. 3 times. Now, it's not as low as I wish it were, and I can't promise that we're going to be able to stay on that track forever. I mean, you know how everything you buy the prices are going crazy. So imagine what it costs to fill up a dump truck or a garbage truck with diesel, versus 2 years ago. So, we buy stuff just like you buy stuff, so.
Yeah.
But
Well, thank you very much. Any
Well,
other
thank you for
questions or
having me.
comments?
appreciate it, or thank you again for all you do for us. Appreciate it. We wouldn't have this historic preservation if it wasn't for this group, so thank you.
Thank you.
Good night.
Thank you. We'll see you on TV or in Publix, wherever we go. Yeah. Well, that was a nice way to start our meeting. So we'll get back to the order of business, and everyone received a copy of the minutes?
Yes.
Are there any corrections or errors or additions?
No.
No? Hearing none? I usually tend to just have you vote yes or no, because I feel like I understand I can say, oh, I didn't hear anything, we'll just approve them as presented, but do I have a motion to approve the minutes as presented?
Motion to approve.
Second.
And we have a motion and a second. Yeah, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, thank you so much, and thank you for those minutes. You know we're doing it, and then we read it, we're like, oh, look, we got a lot done that day. Yes. Okay, so now we have discussion, and I believe I'm going to, let's see, who gets to start this? I think it must be you, Ms. Barlow.
So the next thing on our agenda, good evening, I'm Jeannie Barlow, Executive Office. We have, so at last night's council meeting, we had the appointment of two alternate board members. And since it was last night, I know it was a little bit rushed, so we did send out the notification to these two individuals that they were nominated to be on the board. And I welcome their attendance at tonight's meeting, but unfortunately it was short notice and neither one could make it. But we have Meredith Abel, who is our newest alternate, and Sharon Gaskin. And Meredith is very well known, served on the council, and she's now works as a planner for a consulting firm. And she's very excited to join us, as well as Sharon Gaskin, who had 8 years on the Historical Advisory Committee for the county, and she also served on the Centennial Committee. So I think they'll be a great addition to the board, and maybe they'll be able to join us at our next meeting.
So I do have a question for you, Ernie. When we started with members and alternates, and so we were all given the same training at the same time. Will you be able to offer that to these two?
Absolutely. In fact, one of the things that was a council priority is to create a training program, like the Sunshine Law and all that, and then we'll have it recorded, and then that way it'll be available for everybody.
Okay, great. So you will arrange for that with them?
Absolutely.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I'll work with
Thank
Jeannie
you.
and Marissa.
Thank you very much. Okay.
So moving on to the next item of business under discussion is certified local government opportunities. And as the mayor touched upon, there are grants that are available to us, several categories. The first is the small matching grant, which is up to $50,000, but as a certified local government, it's a matching grant, but because we are a CLG, we do not have to provide the match. So it's $50,000 for us if we can figure out a project that we would like to apply for. So there are specific categories you have to, that are eligible, and they are survey, planning, National Register nominations, wayfinding, or state historical markers. So for wayfinding, I had to figure out what that meant, and it actually means finding your way. So it's designing, placing, implementing navigation tools for like sites, maps, digital aids for primarily historic districts. So the other category is special category grants. It's up to $1 million, and that a certain type of historic preservations that are eligible include development, archaeological research, museum exhibit, and acquisition. So I've been looking at the categories under small matching grants because the submission period opened on April 1st and it closes at the end of May. I think actually June 1st it closes. So we are now in the submission period. So I know we had talked about, and I know at the staff level, we talked about updating our 1988 historic resource surveys, which is primarily about our Mediterranean revivals, our 1920s structures. And the last one that was done in 1988. So I reached out to several resource management firms to get an idea.
Didn't think it would be like my bad.
No.
Hello, Letha. Welcome.
Next to me. Excuse me.
Hi, I was just just to bring you up to speed, I'm just talking about the grants that are possible for us to apply for. A small matching grant that would give us pretty much $50,000, which we, as a certified local government, we would not have to match. So I know we did the 1988 survey on the Mediterranean revival, so I reached out to several research management firms to see if this was something that was possible with $50,000. And I heard back from one, and yes, indeed, they could do up to 75 properties for within that cost range. So with your support, I would like to pursue that and apply for a grant to update our 1988 Historic Resource Survey.
And you said this is, again, it's focusing on the mid-centuries?
No, this would be our Mediterranean
Mediterranean,
revivals,
okay.
yes.
Can you remind me how many properties there are that need the survey?
In the survey that we have now, there are only like 50 to 55. So there are some that are outside of the survey. So we don't really understand how that worked back in 1988 because there are several, at least, that we've identified that are not included in the survey. So this would be all-encompassing of all the 1920s. For whatever reason, why some were left out, we don't know. But we have up to 75, and I don't think that we would reach that.
No, I don't think so either, especially because like we would like to get more information on the ones that weren't included in the 1988 survey. But because there are other buildings that were included in the 88 survey that have since been demolished, like obviously we don't need to update those master site files as of now. Maybe later we could look into providing more information on those buildings, but right now getting the information on the existing Mediterranean revival structures that are still remaining is more important. So we would like to focus on those.
So what information do we actually get out of the survey?
Ooh, construction date, architect, who the original owner of the house was. They'll figure out the original footprint. They'll describe the site, and they'll provide any historic information that applies to that house. So a lot of ours are, reference the 1920s Florida land boom, but others, talk about this as, one of the original 7 houses that was developed for the country club. And so it kind of depends on the structure, like what information you get. So,
Okay, I just wondered.
yeah.
I'm forgetting now if this is accurate or not, but some of the houses came with an orange grove. Is that correct?
So I believe you were given the option to purchase a plot of the orange grove. So not everybody purchased a plot, but you could purchase a plot that you said that was your orange grove.
Orange grove.
Yeah.
Okay,
But
so
you never worked it. Then nobody ever.
Right.
Yeah.
would we be able to find out through the survey which parcel of land adjacent to the structure would have been that orange grove or not?
Was it actually adjacent to their home?
No, it was
or
all
part
outside.
of the bigger grove?
Yeah, it was part of the
Yeah.
bigger,
Part of the bigger grove.
orange grove. So
Okay.
it wasn't necessary. It wasn't right next
It's like a
door.
timeshare.
Yeah. Your house was here, but your orange grove was over there.
Okay.
So.
But we could potentially find that information out too? Or if the owner opted to purchase the grove along with the house?
It depends on what records they find.
Okay, it's a possibility.
It could.
Okay.
We could always mention that and put that request in.
I
so
think
they'd
that would be
aware.
nice.
Yes.
Yeah.
But if you are amenable to this, it would be nice to have a motion to support this project.
I move to support it.
Oh, I'll second that.
All right, so we have a motion on the floor to accept the moving forward with the survey and a second. Any other discussion? No? Hearing none, let's call for the vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay, you have a new project.
Great, thank you. I do appreciate your support. Thank you very much.
So you have looked at the application, and it speaks in English, right? I mean, I've done some grants, and sometimes you're like, what are they asking for?
Yeah.
Okay, so you feel confident.
Yeah.
We feel confident in your ability, so
Yes.
I will speak for the board on that.
Thank you. Moving on to other certified local government opportunities. I know at the last, I believe it was the workshop, that you asked about online training and educational pamphlets and perhaps workshops. So I did send an email to the historic office, and I told them they weren't interested in workshops and educational pamphlets. Unfortunately, they have no physical pamphlets to provide to us, but I did get the response that supposedly they're coming to our community in the near future, and it's a priority for their office to train Historic Preservation Board members shortly after certification. So I don't know what shortly thereafter means, since it's been a while, but we can look forward to a visit from the state at some point to offer a workshop to help us understand the whole sort of local government training process. And I think the online webinars, every time they have something, I will pass it on to you. I know we had one several months ago that, was very, very interesting. So, yes, I will keep a watch out for anything else that comes my way and be sure to forward it to you all.
Seems like you have another one on the calendar.
Yeah, on the 29th?
Yep. So, does everybody have that, or do you? Yes, okay. And I think that's it for that item. Does anybody have any questions?
Well, I guess the ways to encourage historic preservation interest is
Yes.
something that,
I'll let Marissa
okay,
go
all right,
next. She
Marissa.
has the
Okay, Ms.
archiving.
Robinson, would you please, because I want to make sure that we understand. There had been comment that we weren't encouraging people to sign up, and it's my understanding that we are not allowed to recruit. So if I'm wrong, please tell me that, and we'll start talking to people. But if,
I'm right now not comfortable answering to what extent you can recruit, but I will be happy to look that up
Okay.
and either, I'll certainly tell you at the next meeting.
okay, that's
And-
fine, that's fine.
Okay.
Well, thank you. Thank you, Ms. Barlow. As always, you're full of good information.
Okay, so I wanted to give you guys an update on the historic archiving process that we've been doing. We did take on 2 interns from USF. They are both history majors. I believe one is graduating in the spring and another one not until December. But they are both pursuing master's program in library science for archiving. So they are a great fit for this project. So far, they have cataloged 360 items that we have. And we still have quite a few more boxes and then our larger architectural pieces to still catalog. We are looking into software. We were trying to see if the library's software could be used for this project. The library said it probably isn't the best fit, so our interns researched quite a few programs. And we will start looking into them and demoing them and see which one we think is the best fit for us. And I'm also in the process of buying some supplies to properly archive everything that we have. A lot of it is paper documents, photographs, so we want to be sure those are all put in the correct storage so they're not further damaged. So, and we do have a few things that we might need to look on sending off to conservator to repair and stuff. We have bonds from the they're tiny little pieces of paper. They're not in the best shape, but if we can send them to a conservator and have them fixed up, and hopefully they'll last us
Yeah.
even longer. So
Yeah, I don't know about the other members, but I People drop off boxes of stuff at my house.
Just feel free,
I'm
you
not quite
can-
sure.
If you find
why.
anything, we have forms. You can fill out the form. Feel free to drop them off in the permit office, and they'll get them upstairs to me. And we're just constantly taking in boxes, and they're just going through them. But we have a whole storage unit full of stuff.
But you do want to have a heads up as to what the reference is from the person, correct?
Yeah. So some of the donations we've gotten, if we have any questions, we go back to that the person who has donated and they either clarify or whatever. We did get two pie tins that have no historic value, but somebody donated them to this person who then donated to us, and they were like, well, they were just old, and I'm like, well, they don't have any historic value, so yeah. But yeah, we've gotten some interesting things, so and we're going through them. And
What do you do with those items that don't have historic value?
well, these were pie tins from the early '90s that were just in a like a Marie Calendar, like like a pie you would buy from the frozen food section. So
Please don't tell me the 90s have become
no. So we did get rid of those because they don't have any historic value. They probably never will, especially pertaining to Temple Terrace.
Yeah, so you just dispose
Yeah,
of them.
yeah.
Okay.
Put them on the, it's free,
Buy the buy nothing
I
group.
have nothing.
Yeah. But even things that we're like, we're not too sure, we keep them. So,
Have you given any thought to a partnership with the USF library systems for archiving?
it's something that they're on our list to look into. Are you referring the special collections?
Yes, that's one avenue. But they're also able to work on digitization. They can host entire digital collections for you without having to invest in software. And of course, they're part of our community, and it's part of their mission to make sure that
And they probably have a front-facing part of that people then can research.
yes.
Okay.
And they've got ongoing projects with the city of Tampa, archiving and oral histories, which I know is an interest. So if you haven't considered it yet, I think it's worth
Yeah.
looking into.
We'll definitely explore those options.
Yeah, the Temple Terrace Garden Club has entered an agreement with them.
Oh, okay.
Because we had, the club is 80 years old, so that means their scrapbooks were paper thin. And those photographs weren't going to last much longer. And newspaper clippings, because back then, anything the garden club did made it into the newspaper. So, and it's really been nice to know that somebody is taking care of them, and so.
So that's the update I have on that. So they're doing a great job. Even Rodney Kite Powell from the History Center came over, and we met with him and we showed him that the work that they've done, and he said that they were doing a great job. So we definitely got two really great interns for this.
That's an important opinion to have.
Yeah, they're very important.
Yes,
opinion.
that's a nice blessing. He knows what he's talking about.
Yes.
So, well, thank you very much. Any other questions? No? Miss Letha, you don't have anything to give us, like, jars or jelly or stuff like that, from your collection?
I have two things that I'm going to give, that I have gotten, that I'm going to bring. But, yes, I can't tell you what they are because I don't know what they are. So,
That's very possible.
but they don't look like pie plates.
And there's no one to ask. So, yeah,
We'll figure it out. We'll figure
I
it out
know you
one way or
will.
another.
we'll let them figure it out.
Right.
Right. Well, thank you very much. Let's see here, any specific agenda items for the next meeting? Anyone have any ideas or any questions to add?
This is not specific, am I interrupting you?
There's one more item on the agenda, Madam Chair.
Pardon?
There's one more item on the agenda.
Oh,
Yeah.
I skipped over. I did? waste, I don't know which, D, yes, that's the one I was looking for, yes, sorry.
I just prepared some talking points for your discussion. See if you would like to pursue any of these ideas. I did a little research on what other communities are doing to encourage historic preservation and put together a list of 8 possible options that we have. If anything jumps out at you as a possibility, we would be glad to look into it.
Once you do your historical survey of all the properties, then you should have enough information to help put together a pamphlet or some information on those homes that would encourage interest in the properties.
Possibility.
Even if you don't get their owners to participate, it would certainly encourage others to become interested.
Just to
That's how Marissa wrote me in.
So number 8 is National Historic Preservation Month, which is May. So we are putting a proclamation on the agenda on the May 5th meeting. We would welcome you all to come to that meeting to receive the proclamation.
I can be there.
Okay.
But anyone else who can join us, please do so. I mean, that's a big night. The people from the Women's Club.
Oh, that's banana pudding.
That's banana pudding night, so
Oh, definitely.
they will be serving it, by the way. Yeah. I think you'll have a fairly good number of people there.
Okay, good.
Well, I think I agree with Ms. Werner that once we have the survey, we may know, but we don't know how long that will take. How long will that take? So I don't want to wait a year to begin talking to people about what we're doing. What are the, I guess not what are the chances, but what, do you think there's an opportunity for us to have something on the cities? You know, every once in a while, there are different things. Obviously, Parks and Rec has lots of information to tell people. But lately, the water restrictions, those are reminders about following the rules for that. And code compliance has different things that they say to people. Don't forget, it's just, you shouldn't do this, or you need to do this before you build a fence or what have you. Is there anything that we could do in this regard? Anything that we could say? I mean, I don't want to just say, hey, we're here, come check us out. I mean, there needs to be something, some bit of interesting tidbit. I love the first two, simplifying the process and myths versus facts, because even though we've had how many workshops, and people say, oh, I hear it, I understand it, and then they leave and say,
Well, we could combine those two and perhaps put something on the website that addresses that, step-by-step process, simplify it, and then put something myths versus facts, because there is misinformation out there about what exactly happens when you become part of the program. So, there are a lot of things that if you were in the program, you could do at the administrative level, and you wouldn't need to come to the board. I mean, it's just, paint color, stuff like that. Mm-hmm. You could get that done at staff level. So we could also mention that, helpful information.
Number 5 would go well with 1 and 2 in that information on your website.
Number 5 is share testimonials from property owners from other CLGs who support their programs. Yep, yes.
I think the myths versus facts or dispelling, common misconceptions about the program is probably the most important right now. And I might frame it like a frequently asked questions where the myth is a question and the response is sort of the
Great idea.
fact.
We can do that.
And you could even, maybe social media personnel could help put together a series of posts during National Historic Preservation Month that just highlights those questions and maybe a few facts about the program, getting the CLG. Because I'm thinking the website's a great resource, but not everybody even, really goes to the website unless they're directed. But a lot of people are on Facebook and Instagram.
Maybe we can do a video that has a how-to with the myths versus facts, informational.
Yeah.
Yes?
Yeah, I think it needs to be simplified as much as possible. Even the people who don't live in historic houses are interested in historic houses. So it doesn't hurt for everybody to hear the message. And then maybe they'll say to somebody, my neighbor, maybe we'll begin to get people to help us out here. So nothing like giving you a bunch of work to do. But I don't think you listed something that you absolutely couldn't do, on this.
It's all
Good list.
I'm wondering if number 7 could be modified slightly.
7 is host a public meeting on historic preservation.
Preservation, yeah. So our amazing public library branch right here does all sorts of evening kind of talks, just for public interest, things like birding and, backyard botany. I'm wondering if maybe putting together some kind of casual, informal talk about historic preservation and then providing more specific information about this program and our city's CLG sort of towards the end of that talk might be a less, or just a more, like a friendlier, more relaxed way than
Than a town hall.
than a town hall or an official public meeting.
Yeah. Because, even the night that the last time we had to go before council, there were still questions about, about the area and turning the golf course into a historic, all those things were just, and so every time somebody says that on live TV, it just starts the conversation again about how, well, maybe I didn't understand, maybe I don't understand what's going to happen if I do this to my house, or maybe I am going to get caught up in that, and I don't want to be caught, it just definitely, so I think you're probably right, something that's just we're having this, last week we talked about bees in the garden, and this week we're talking about.
So to dispel that, being on the National Register does not impact neighboring properties. It does not have any control. There's no regulation on being on the National Register. It's an honor to be on the National Register, but there is no local controls that are implemented.
Right.
And I think that's a great topic for discussion or presentation. We've just been granted, our city has been granted this incredible honor, and here's what this means. And, showing some really amazing photographs then and now. A lot of people would be interested in coming to the library and seeing their city change over time, and then you get the opportunity to dispel some of those myths and just, educate the public more broadly.
Because what is it they say? You have to tell somebody something, is it 7 or 9 times and in different ways before it sinks in? Now, I know you've told this story before, so we've had several workshops, several town hall meetings, but maybe this is just a new twist, and much more relaxed.
Continuing education.
Yeah. Well, we like where you're going here. I like where you're going. Any other, sounds to me from the comments that we agree that this is the right step, and maybe putting some of them together make it a little easier to do. But where do we need to go from here? Just turn you loose, say, come back and tell us what you came up with?
Let us work it out.
Okay, all right. Any other questions, any other comments? You see something that she didn't ask and maybe you might have.
I don't know where this goes,
Okay, yeah. Okay,
but at a previous meeting, someone mentioned that Liz Bird had done some work on historic preservation with the society and with this group, and I ran into her and told her that her name came up. And she was interested in doing something with those oral histories. But she said, we did all this work, we collected all these oral histories that were supposed to be put up online, but nothing ever happened. She also offered to come and meet with this committee, this board, to discuss anything like that.
Liz Bird is an anthropology, or a former anthropology professor from the University of South Florida. So she did, she conducted oral histories of Temple Terrace residents.
Yes, about 10 of them.
Okay.
It was the Preservation Society, the one that's
Right.
kind of defunct.
Right.
So
Yes,
they may
and
have,
there were CDs that people expounded on, maybe something that they had done at their own house or in the actual happenings at Temple Terrace. But I don't have, the only thing I have is one small little CD that says something about this is what we're going to do, but I have none of the other.
you don't have any of the interviews?
No,
Well, did she say where those,
she doesn't know where they are.
She
She'd
doesn't
like
know where
to
they are
find out
either.
where they
Oh.
are and finally get them
right,
uploaded and
you
accessible.
up there, right.
Does she remember who she worked with?
I don't know, but it sounds like it might be worthwhile for her to come and talk to us.
or talk to you?
You guys.
You talk to her
Start with-
first to find out, before you bring her here, and then we have to wait for that to happen. And if you can reach out to her and find out who did she work with, and if she
Oh, I
has-
know, well, I remember Grant was,
Right.
he was one of them, and Fell. So I could probably find out, some other people that she might have worked with and because somebody put it together, as far as being able to have everybody sit and talk.
We talked
There were
about this
10
in
of
the
them.
Centennial Committee, that we wanted to do oral histories. And no one mentioned that. Because I knew those existed, I thought that we were just going to add on to those.
Right.
But if nobody knows where they are, maybe
Well,
we can make a,
able to find
put
them.
out an all points bulletin, look in every drawer,
Would
to figure
Grant
out where that
Look
is.
in every drawer, right.
Yeah. Because there has been a huge change in personnel,
Library.
but
Maybe library, looking in the library.
would you say the 80s this was done? The 90s?
I'm trying to think of when I would say that the late 90s.
Oh, okay, all right. Well, that's,
They mentioned, the library was mentioned, that's possible, that somebody there has, that they were turned into them.
do you have Dr. Bird's information? Can you get that to them? Do you have it? Do you have
I
it?
don't have anything
I have her
current.
contact information.
Yeah.
Could you give that to staff?
Sure.
So that they can reach out to her and have that conversation? I mean, I'm sure she would be very interesting to hear what she has to say. I would love to hear what she has to say. I just don't want to wait for our next meeting for someone to
Yeah,
reach
'cause
out
it
to
is a
her.
long time, you're right. Well, my reaction was, let's not start something brand new when we have this other thing, that wasn't preserved, we're all about preservation, but, you know, a lot of effort went into that project, and it seems like it wasn't preserved. So let's not make that mistake again.
Everything just went away, falls apart.
Well, it depends on what they put it on,
That's
too.
not good. Yeah, how they did it, yeah.
You said it was a CD?
They were CDs,
I wonder if
definitely.
Grant has a copy, potentially.
It's possible.
If he was part of that group.
Yeah,
Has
he,
everything else.
yeah.
Yeah, if he can find old pie plates, he can find CDs. We should ask, I mean, you know, he's been very agreeable
Oh, yeah, he's.
to answering
he is.
any questions anybody had, so we just need to, once again, reach out to Grant, the keeper of most of the secrets. And if he doesn't know it, Letha does, so,
We'll find out what we can find out.
okay. Thank you for bringing that up, that's very interesting. Definitely, I mean, there are lots of things that we all wish had been preserved, you know, and that haven't, and then you're looking back, you're like, well, why didn't they recognize the importance of this? You know, but, yeah. Okay, anything else on this? Anyone, are we making an action item here, or are we just saying, go back, go see what you can do, bring it back? That sound good? You heard what everyone said? So, okay, thank you, Jeannie, that's very nice of you. Okay, now, how about the next meeting? So I guess the next meeting, we should decide when is the next meeting, as well as if there are any agenda items that you specifically want. Obviously, we would like to know about this presentation you just made, about how to, you know, encourage historic preservation in our community, and then also about Dr. Bird's work, if we can, whatever you can find out about that. Mr. Mueller, you're just going to reach out to the new alternates separate from this meeting and have a training for them?
Yes, that was my
Okay.
plan, to see when they could come in. Like I say, and then once, hopefully I can get it recorded at some point, and then it'll be available for a refresher for everybody.
Okay, all right. And do you have anything that you think we should add to the agenda?
I was thinking about that. I wasn't coming up with anything specific, other than you gave me the assignment for this board's ability to recruit property owners into the program.
Yes, please. Okay. Got all that?
The next meeting?
When,
Once a quarter, so.
right,
So we were looking at the calendar, we're in the third quarter right now, so we need to do it for July, August.
For September.
Yes, is when we need to do the next meeting. So because of the summer holiday and getting back to school, we were thinking maybe September would probably be the best.
that would be the 23rd?
24th. No, Wednesday, you're right, 23rd.
Okay. Can anyone see, I can see my calendar that far out, and right now it's looking clear.
It's okay to me.
Well, you'll be busy in the morning and the afternoon.
Yes, yes. I saw that, yes.
Caught that one, huh?
Okay, so September 23rd?
Yes.
And we should definitely encourage the alternates to come
Yep.
to the meetings, if at all possible. I mean, Janine stepped right in because she had been coming to the meetings, and that was very helpful. Otherwise, we'll stumble along just a little bit. So I know that these meetings are on YouTube, is that right?
Yes.
Okay, so they could also follow along with that, but we need to remind them that that is definitely something we encourage. So, anything else to go before this board? Hearing none, I consider this meeting adjourned.